Bienvenidos a Kilimanjaro Safari. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos,
So welcome aboard. All the way across. Watch your step. Watch your head. I'm going to move it shortly. As we say here in Harambe, it's Monday. Monday means let's go. Jumbo, everybody. My name's Jess. I'll be your safari driver and guide through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Is this anybody's first time on a safari? Raised hands. Also looks like we are heading to the Safi River. This is where we can find some aquatic animals. Well, I'm gonna go nice and slow. There are two hippos on the right side of us, as well as a pelican hanging out with them. Now, those are Nile hippopotamus. The pelican's called a pinked-back pelican. We're gonna try and find some more of them up ahead and a little bit of a better view. Now, the pinked-back pelicans, they do get their name because underneath those gray and white feathers, their skin turns pink. That happens during the mating season. Some say they blush for one another. Now, what's interesting about the hippo's nickname, the river horse, is they're actually closer related to whales than horses. Wow. Probably why they can hold their breath for so long. We're also going to cross over a bridge very shortly, so make sure we're staying seated, because I see some Nile crocodiles to the left. There are a lot of them. These are pretty large reptiles. They grow to be about 16 feet long, and using that tail, they can show their body length out of the water. Very impressive. Wow. Now, crocodiles, they also, like most reptiles, are ectothermic. That's the scientific term for cold-blooded. So they have to use outside sources to heat and cool their bodies. So to heat their bodies up, they use sunlight. They sunbathe. To cool their bodies down, they go back into the water, or they open up their jaws, and that does release excess heat from inside their bodies through their mouths. Also looks like we're heading out to another ecosystem, the savannah. You may recognize a lot of animals that are out here. Savannas are used as a natural highway for migratory species. That's because it's relatively flat and it does not have a whole lot of trees. So it makes it easier for those large groups and large animals to move around. I already see a lot of animal action out there, so we'll take it nice and slow. I already see some zebras. Yes. Now, a lot of people like to speculate if zebras are black with white stripes or white with black stripes. You're going to see them on the right side of us. So as you take a look at them, look at their noses, their snout. There's one a little bit closer to us that I'll pull up to. So you'll see that their nose is black. That determines that they are black with white stripes. And this particular species of zebra is called the mountain zebra. Now, the way you can tell they're mountain zebra is if you look closely underneath their necks, they do have a flap of skin, and it's called a dewlap. Helps them to regulate their body temperatures. They're the only species of zebra that have that. Also seeing a couple different animals coming up too. The dark gray animals are called the white-bearded wildebeest. And off in the distance on the left, those are called sable antelope, the mascot of the reserve. Now they have those long curved horns which help deter predators from jumping on their backs. Looks like the wildebeest are having their lunch. Now they can be seen in a really large herd. Wildebeest migrate in groups sometimes up to 1.5 million individuals. So this doesn't look like it's a migrating group because I'm only seeing a handful. But you'll probably see more as we continue around the savannah. But all the animals that live out here, they help to shape the way that the landscape looks. So all of the wildebeest, the other antelope and zebras, they eat the grasses. And it keeps these grasses nice and short. I like to think of them as nature's lawnmowers.
I need one of those.
Now, giraffes, I'm hoping we can find some of them. They're the tree trimmers. So giraffes eat leaves off these trees and bushes until until they can't reach anymore. That's what makes a lot of these trees look like leaves only grow at the very tops of them. That's just the areas that giraffes can't reach. We're gonna pull up in a second. Looks like a wildebeest is crossing the road. This is their home after all. These animals get to do whatever they please. So you get a nice close look of these three zebra on the right side. It's actually two youngsters, one closest to us and one a little further away. They're about a year old, a little over a year old. So they still got some growing left to do. But when they were born, they're born with adult-sized legs. So only the rest of their body grows as they age. And by having those large legs when they're born, that helps them to learn how to walk within a half hour of being born. Now the wildebeest, it only takes them about 15 minutes to learn how to walk when they're born. So they gotta learn how to walk real quick to keep up with the herd. See a lot of those wildebeest. Wildebeest also go by another name. That is new, spelled G-N-U. And they get that name for the sound that they make. Also just past these wildebeest on the right side, hanging out in the shade of that tree. Those are some springbok. And they're very athletic. They could run up to 55 miles per hour. They also get their name for their jumping abilities, in which they could jump up to 6 feet in the air when they're excited or scared. If they wanted to, they could jump into this truck if they wanted to. I don't think they will, though. I do see some giraffe coming up ahead, so we'll catch up to them in a moment. Now, if you do look over on the right side, though, there is a cattle hanging out by those palm trees. That is an Ankole cattle, one of the only domesticated animals on the reserve. Now, its head is kind of down, but they do have really large horns. Those horns do grow to be about 4 feet long. We're going to catch a glimpse of the entire giraffe herd, or rather, called a tower of giraffe. And the one that is laying down is actually a baby. Now, it's not even a year old yet, but they do grow pretty quickly. Because when a giraffe's born, they're only about 6 feet tall.
So cute.
Also, sometimes when you see the elephants flap their ears, especially on a really hot day, that's how they cool their bodies down. By flapping those ears, they can cool their temperature down about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're not trying to fly like Dumbo. We're also coming up to some flamingos on the left. It looks like some of them are laying on some nests, so maybe there's baby flamingos in the future. And these are called greater.
We're on the monorail. Let's see where this takes us. Right? It's Dole Whip time. Kinda excited. What are you gonna get, babe? Why'd you stop?